Please subscribe to this channel. They laughed at her for being a black woman and a mechanic. I'll give you $100,000 if you fix this. Until the engine roared. $100,000 if you can get this Lamborghini running, Marcus Wellington III declared, adjusting his Rolex watch as he watched the black woman in dirty overalls standing next to his broken-down supercar. But when you fail, and you will fail, I want you to admit in front of everyone that women don't know anything about engines. Kesha Johnson, 28, stood motionless at the humiliating proposition. Around her, at the prestigious Platinum Motors dealership in Beverly Hills, at least 15 wealthy men watched the scene as if it were a circus spectacle. Their laughter echoed off the marble walls as they placed bets among themselves on how long it would take her to give up. The situation had escalated quickly. Kesha had walked into the dealership just to pick up a part she had ordered for her small suburban repair shop. But when she politely corrected a misdiagnosis the head mechanic was making on Marcus's Lamborghini Huracan, the humiliation began. "Look at this, everyone," Marcus had shouted for all to hear. "The little lady here thinks she knows more than our factory's certified expert." He paused dramatically. "I bet she doesn't even know the difference between a piston and a carburetor." What Marcus didn't know was that Kesha had grown up taking apart engines at her grandfather's junkyard, had earned an honors degree in mechanical engineering, and had spent 3 years secretly working as a technical consultant for one of the nation's largest automakers. But her youthful appearance, black skin, and female gender created a combination that made wealthy men completely underestimate her abilities. "So, young lady," Marcus continued, his voice dripping with condescension, "my Lambo has been out of commission for 2 weeks, and 4 different mechanics have given up. It's a problem with the electronic fuel injection system that no one can figure out." He crossed his arms. "If you're as good as you think you are, prove it." Kesha looked at the car for a few seconds, immediately noticing signs that the other mechanics had overlooked. Small details in the position of the cables, the irregular sound of the engine when he tried to start it, the specific color of the smoke coming out of the exhaust. To her, it was like reading an open book. "What if I can?" she asked calmly, her voice betraying neither irritation nor intimidation. "Impossible," Marcus laughed loudly. "But if by some miracle you can, I'll pay you $100,000 right now. Cash?" He paused maliciously. "But when you fail, not only will you admit your incompetence, you'll have to apologize to everyone here for wasting our time with this female mechanic charlatan." The men around them began to murmur among themselves. $100,000 was serious money, even in that social circle. Some took out their cell phones to record what was sure to be an epic humiliation. Kesha took a deep breath, remembering her grandfather's words. "Daughter, engines don't see color or gender. Engines just want to work, right?" For years, she had faced similar situations. Men who doubted her competence before even seeing her work. "I accept," she said simply. The silence that followed was broken only by the sound of a camera being turned on. Marcus extended his hand with a predatory smile. "It's a deal, but get ready for humiliation, because it's going to be public." As they shook hands, Kesha kept her expression serene. What those privileged men didn't know was that every act of contempt was about to become the catalyst for a lesson none of them would ever forget. If this story of prejudice and overcoming adversity has touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because what happened next changed the way those men view competence and respect forever. The first sign that Marcus wasn't joking came when he called his friends. "Guys, you have to come here and see this," he said on the phone, laughing loudly. "A black woman is trying to fix my Lambo. Yes, you heard right. It's going to be the entertainment of the afternoon." Kesha watched silently as the dealership turned into a circus arena. Within 15 minutes, at least 20 wealthy men had arrived, all curious to witness what Marcus announced as the humiliation of the century. Some even placed side bets on how long it would take her to give up. "Look, everyone," Marcus announced dramatically. I'd like to introduce you to our supercar expert. He made air quotes, eliciting laughter from those present. She's going to show us how a woman fixes what 4 certified men couldn't. What hurt the most wasn't the laughter or the snide comments. It was the look. That look Kesha had known since she was 8 years old, when her father first took her to her grandfather's junkyard. The same look she got when she tried to join the boys in taking apart engines. The same look she got from college professors who questioned her presence in advanced classes. You know what amuses me the most? Marcus continued, now clearly showing off for the audience. It's that she actually believes she can do it. Look at her confidence. He paused dramatically. I bet she watched a few videos on YouTube and now she thinks she's a professional mechanic. The most painful memory came back in a flash. Kesha was 16 when she got an internship at a reputable repair shop. On her first day, the supervisor put her to work organizing tools and cleaning the floor. Women are good at organizing, not fixing, he had said in front of all the other male interns who were immediately given technical jobs. Hey, lady, Marcus's voice brought her back to the present. Are you still there, or have you given up? Because if you've changed your mind, you can leave now without embarrassing yourself. Kesha took a deep breath and walked over to the Lamborghini. Her hands touched the hood of the car with the delicacy of someone who knows expensive machines. Immediately, she felt something that the other mechanics had missed, an almost imperceptible vibration that indicated a specific problem in the electronic management system. Can I open the hood? She asked calmly. Sure, Professor, Marcus replied sarcastically, but I'll tell you now, you'll see the same thing the other 4 saw. An engine too complex for... He stopped abruptly when he saw Kesha's expression change. She had identified the problem in less than 30 seconds. It wasn't just a matter of electronic fuel injection. Someone had installed an incompatible performance chip that was causing conflicts in the engine management system. It was a mistake that only inexperienced or dishonest mechanics would make. Who was the last person to work on this car? She asked, her voice remaining professional. What does it matter? Marcus replied defensively. The problem is that it doesn't work. You said you could fix it. Kesha noticed something interesting, Marcus's sudden defensiveness. The way he looked away when she mentioned who had worked on the car. There was a story there, and she was beginning to suspect what it might be. Of course I'll fix it, she said simply. But I need some specific tools that you probably don't have here. What tools? One of the dealership mechanics asked, clearly uncomfortable with her confidence. A European diagnostic scanner for post-2020 Lamborghini systems, an ECU reprogramming kit, and a few other technical things that she stopped when she saw the profused expressions. Things that mechanics who specialize in supercars should know. The awkward silence that followed was broken by Marcus. Special tools, I bet that's just an excuse for not knowing where to start. It's not an excuse, Kesha replied, reaching for her cell phone. I'm calling my supplier. The tools will be here in 2 hours. What she didn't say was that her supplier was actually a contact at the car manufacturer where she had worked secretly for 3 years. A contact who would not only lend her the tools, but who could also confirm her true professional identity if necessary. While she was on the phone, Marcus approached his friends. 2 hours of free theater, he muttered loud enough for her to hear. Let's see how far she takes this charade. Kesha hung up the phone and faced Marcus directly. The tools will be here in 2 hours. Can I get to work now, or would you rather continue with the comments? You can work, Marcus said with a cruel smile, but when you fail, and you will fail, I want you to admit that you tried to humiliate men who have been working hard on cars for years. Perfect, Kesha replied, her voice maintaining a calm that puzzled some of the more attentive observers. And when I do, I hope you have the same courage to admit your own mistakes. Each new taunt only fueled something inside Kesha that those privileged men couldn't see. A determination forged by years of struggles they would never face. What none of them realized was that each malicious comment was writing her own lesson in humility, and that the real storm was yet to come. The 2 hours passed in a climate of growing tension. Marcus and his friends had turned the wait into a private party, ordering expensive champagne and making increasingly cruel bets on how Kesha would fail. Some even filmed videos for social media, preparing the content they planned to post about the woman who tried to cheat rich men. "I bet the tools won't even arrive," laughed Jonathan Berkshire, heir to a chain of hotels. "It was probably just an excuse to buy time before admitting she doesn't know anything." Kesha remained seated in a chair in the corner, seemingly ignoring the comments. But in fact, she was watching Marcus's every reaction. Every time someone mentioned previous mechanics or work done on the car, he became visibly uncomfortable. There was definitely something he didn't want to be discovered. When the Advanced Automotive Solutions truck pulled up, the room fell silent. This was no